Okay guys, welcome to the advanced Facebook scaling strategy. This is heavily reliant on lookalike audience ads. They're extremely important. And so you really shouldn't be on this video unless you're doing so there's 3 stages you can go through. So if you have 10,000 visitors on your site, you can make a lookalike audience from that. If you have 500 to 1,000 added carts, you can make a lookalike audience from that. If you have 100 minimum purchases, you can make a lookalike audience from that. So basically you shouldn't be on this video at all if you don't have any of those, but when you do, you can come here and start, and this is how you really start scaling things, and basically you let Facebook scale it for you. So I'm actually on my one deal at a time ad account here just so I can literally show you in person what you should be doing, just because I do have that data. Like, let me pull up my pixel. I think the pixel only shows the past 180 days, so it probably won't have too much, but oh wow. So that's a little weird. So it seems like the pixel on here will only show me the past 30 days. It won't allow me to go further than that. Oh well, this is one of my slower months for sure, because this is when it's really starting to slow down. But as you can see here, I've had 112 purchases, which is so bad for a month. Like, I just want you guys to know that this is like the worst month I've ever had. Just because it is draining, and I'm just basically prepping for my niche store at this point. That's why me filming these training videos came at a perfect time. But I mean, right here, I've had 50,000 people visit the website in the past month. I've had 7.2 thousand people view the product page, which is very weird for me, because that means they're like finding it on Google. Like when they search Google, they're finding my product page on Google. I have 2.4 thousand people add to cart. Again, you need 20 or 30 to optimize for add to cart, and then you need at least 500 in total to make the lookalike audience ad. So I'm good on that part, obviously. And but yeah, so that's what you want to do. You want to come here, and that's how you like look for if you have enough numbers. So now I'm going to show you exactly how to do the lookalike audience ads. You're going to come up here and go to audiences, and then that's when it's going to take you to here. So this is the audiences that I've created in the past. There's so many of them that it's not even worth like scrolling through. But yeah, this is what you're going to be doing a lot of your work on right here. And you really don't, and again, like I said, you really don't want to be here until you're getting at least 10,000 visitors, 5,000 to 10,000 visitors, and then you can come here and create a lookalike audience for your visitors. 500 to 1,000 added cards, come here and make a lookalike audience for your added carters. And then 100 orders or so before you create a lookalike audience for your purchases. And then also take note, you never want to have 2 competing campaigns going on at the same time. So you don't want an add to cart and a link click going on at the same time, or they'll compete against each other. And you don't want add to cart and a purchase ad going at the same time, or they're going to compete against each other. So as you go through this maturation, you want to end one and start the other. So when you do get the 20-30 purchases a week, you want to end your add to cart ad and you want to start purchase ad. It's going to be slow at first, but you're only going to build from there. All right, so say I have the 10,000 visitors that I need. I would come here and click the custom audience, and you're going to go to website traffic, and then it only allows you to go back, unfortunately, 180 days, see? So if you type over that, it won't. A lot of my visitors came from over 180 days, so really nothing I can do about that, but other than the visitors itself, I can basically get all the data I want from everything else, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So I'll come back here and type in visitors, and then click create audience. All right. So that's for visitors. If I wanted add to cart, I would come here and I would click custom audience, and then I would do the website traffic again, and then I would scroll down to add to cart. Again, make it the longest you can, 180 days, and then you name that ATCers or something like that. You create that, and then again for purchases, you can come here and only do this if it's in the past 180 days, and for most of you it will be, but if it's more than 180 days, I'll also show you how to go about doing that. So I'll come here, do purchases in the past 180 days, and obviously I've been doing this for 1 year. I have way more purchases than the past 180 days, so I'm not going to use this. I'm just showing this to you so you guys know how to do it. So it usually takes a couple hours, and it errors a lot. Like this says it's ready when it's definitely not. Like it's just not available yet. Actually, I'm not sure where the. Oh, okay. I'll explain that in a second. So yeah, I just did this. I'm gonna let this populate, and then I'm also gonna go ahead and show you how to extract all your customer data for when it is more than 180 days, or if you're getting a lot of purchases not from Facebook. Either way, I think this is the better one. So I would come here. This is my one deal at a time dashboard. Obviously, my sales is just dwindling. I have no ads running to it right now, so that's cool. I'm making some money, I guess, on the side. I have everything being prepped over here while I'm doing these videos. So once I'm done with these videos, I can finally focus on this. Anyway, well, how you would do that is you come to customers right here, and then it's going to take you right here. Now, what you want definitely is anyone who placed an order on or before whenever somewhere in the future. So that's going to come right here, and now I have the 12 or 13,000 people who have bought from me, and I would click export selected 50 plus customers matching search, and then I would click export, and then it'll email me my audience right here. And then what you do from there is you go and you create custom audience, and you click customer file, and you click add customers from your own file. How did you get this? Directly from the customer, and then you would upload that file. So I actually have an old one right here. I'm just going to upload it to show you guys how it works. Again, this is usually the better option since this takes into account everybody, not just people who purchase from Facebook. So, but I mean, either way it's going to be fine. Like you can choose either one, especially if you're in the first 180 days. Don't even worry about this strategy. But you would come here and you would just identify what each element is. Like that's the first and last name. This is their city right here. This is state/province and so on. And then you click upload and create, and then it actually creates your custom audience. And don't worry when it says not available right here, because on custom audiences, they just never show. So that's how you do it with your own data. And like you can go through and like look at how many different things you can create like from your custom audience. Like you got all the website traffic, you got all the Facebook pixel data that's been going on, and then you can do things like engagement where you can target people who watch like 95% of your video, and you can go in and you can choose that exact video right here. See 4 million views, and then you click confirm, and then you'd have all these people who watch 95% of your videos. Like test all these audiences, because once you find one, it's super powerful, and the more data you get, the more powerful the audience gets, the more sales you get, and the more sales you get, the more data you have to make better lookalike audience ads that put out better sales, which gives you more data, and then you have better lookalike audience ads, and it just like is a circle like this. So you can keep doing that over and over and over again. So definitely look into those too. But in my opinion, I would suggest doing the visitors and the ATCs. At first, few people are going to be here when they're watching this video. Again, you have to have 100 purchases to do the purchase lookalike audiences, but that is the end goal right here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fast forward to when these actually populate, so I can show you what to do from here. Okay guys, so now it has updated and I have changed my wardrobe. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you now how to do the lookalike audience ad. So first thing you're gonna do, come to your visitors, say you do have the 5,000 to 10,000 visitors and you wanna try this. Now, I would warn, when you get to this stage, don't just shut down all your ads. Like you always wanna be testing multiple different audiences and see which one works the best. So these are just audiences you should definitely be testing. When you check visitors, be sure to come up here to actions and click create lookalike. Don't do it through this little button right here. So sources visitors, and then since I'm only in the United States, I'm gonna go ahead and click United States, and then right here, so this is the percentage of accuracy. So the smaller the percentage, the more accurate it's gonna be, and the smaller your audience is gonna be. So 1% is their most accurate they can get from the people you're supplying to them at the lowest number, so 2.1 million. Each country is a little different, and if you're doing this in multiple countries, be sure to actually do the lookalike audience ads in those countries. So normally what I would do, since I was selling in 5 countries, I would come here every Monday and launch a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10% lookalike audience ad. And I narrow it down a little bit on these higher numbers, but I would just come here and do that. So when you're first starting off, I wouldn't recommend just doing like all of them, like doing 6 at a time, because sometimes I was doing 45 in one night. That's for way later when you're really scaling and you're really looking for the audiences. But when you're first getting into these, I'd recommend doing 1, 3, and 5%. I think that'd be like a good spread out. So you come here, you click 1%, you click create audience, and then it starts to populate like that. And then you'd come back and do the visitors again, do maybe 3% in the States, and click create like that. And really, if you wanted to just I would take that back. When you first start these lookalike audiences, I would do 2 at the max. So maybe 1% and 5%, maybe 2% and 5%, or 6%, whatever. I wouldn't go above 5%, honestly. I would keep it between there, but I recommend just starting off with 1 so you don't lose as much money and you get a little used to it at first before you start doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. Like those are a lot of people do all 10 straight through too. I usually just did those 6. I think that would be a good spread. But since most of you are watching this are just starting in the lookalike audiences at this stage of your ads, I'd recommend, just keeping it with 1 each. Like you can try different audiences. So when you're in the visitors, you can try the visitors and the ATCs. You can try those audiences. Like you can try multiple audiences. That's fine. It's just like don't try add to cart ads on top of purchase ads, or it's just gonna collide together and they're just gonna affect each other, and you do not want that at all. So go ahead and do that. I imagine if you guys are watching this, you're probably on the visitor stage, or if you got the ATCs, once you come back to this video maybe, or maybe you're still already there, you have like 500, 1,000 ATCs, it's the same thing. You go click create lookalike and United States, and if you're doing 2 different countries, United States and that other country, or whatever 2 countries, and then I would just start with 1 or 2% and just roll with that and see how it performs. If it performs well, keep scaling that up, and then come back the next week, and on that Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, start launching. Go ahead and try other different percentages, and you always want to refresh these. Now, what refreshing is, to refresh a lookalike audience ad doesn't mean to come, like say, let's pretend 2 weeks later we come back to this tab. To refresh it doesn't mean you come here and click create lookalike audience and creates a new lookalike audience. No. To refresh it, you have to go back to the start and create that custom lookalike audience, because now you have all this new data that you've been getting. So you're gonna actually have to go back and recreate the custom audience right here. And my little tip to you, when you recreate it, just do something that'll make sure that that's the new one. So like RE, ATC, whatever. And that's very important, because a lot of people, even Abe almost sold his store at 50,000, and he's like, yeah, I just been creating new lookalike audiences, and they just haven't been working. I'm like, well, are you recreating the custom audiences before that? And he goes, no. Then he recorrected that, ended up doing hundreds of thousands. So that's very important to always keep those updated every 2 weeks. I'd recommend every 2 weeks just launch new lookalike audience ads, because they're going to continually get smarter and smarter. So to launch them every 2 weeks would be a pretty good idea. So yeah, depending on what stage you're on, visitors, ATC, purchases, we're gonna go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you what to do from here and how to get these launched into an ad set and whatnot. Alright guys, so I skipped ahead a little bit, cut this video, and looks like we have our audiences created. So now I'm gonna show you how to actually go ahead and use those. So we're gonna go back into your ads manager right up here, and we're gonna go and launch a couple, and I'm gonna show you what I do to pretty much expedite the process. Okay, I'm not sure. Oh, okay. That's super weird. Switch my thing on me again. So this is what I usually do. So obviously I don't have any ads running, so I'm gonna go here to show you what I do for simplicity purposes. So I usually have a lot of these running like all the time. So let's just pretend like this one's running right here. What I would do to update these audiences, or to even launch a new lookalike audience, is I would just find an ad set that's already in the country that I'm doing. Click duplicate, and you're gonna keep it in the original one. Get this off, get this off. Just keep it original. Keep it in the original campaign. Hit duplicate, and now what you're gonna do is you're gonna name it, say, if you're in the ATC stage, we're gonna, like, if these are your ATCs, you're gonna do ATC, like LAA ATC, and then you say the 1%, and then you say like the country, so USA. So lookalike audience ad of added carts at 1% accuracy, and then okay, so what I want to mention is you can use, like, you can definitely, and I encourage you guys to use these lookalike audience ads across all campaigns. So what that means is, this is for ATCs. You can do this for purchases. Now, if you're watching this in a gradual process, you probably aren't doing the purchases yet. You're probably optimizing for add to cart events. So go ahead and keep that add to cart, and you're going to launch this lookalike audience ad under this optimization. But you can also, for add to cart ads, especially in the beginning too, like we made that the visitor 1%, definitely try that out too. Like, you want to try these out at $5 a day and see what works the best, so you know which one to roll with. And because the visitors is going to have way more data than the ATC, but the ATC is going to have way better accurate data. So it's like a balance and just testing it. So if you were coming in here and you were on the add to cart ads and you were optimizing for it at this point, I would run, the add to cart, right? I would add the add to cart conversion with the add to cart lookalike audience, launch this, and then also come back, duplicate it again, and then launch a visitor one under the 1%. And then you guys want to keep doing this, and like you just keep refreshing those audiences up until you get in that 20 to 30 purchase mark. And then once you're hitting the 20 to 30 purchase mark a week, then what you're going to have to do, trust me on this one, you don't want to necessarily go ahead and end all of your active campaigns. So let's just say this one was active and it was doing well. And so any active ad set that you want to do, you'd want to come in here and change it from add to cart to purchase. Now again, you can't do this until you get 20 to 30 add to carts a week, but just make sure, 20 to 30 purchases a week, but just make sure that when you do switch, that you don't have some ad sets optimizing for add to cart and other ad sets optimizing for purchase, because they're going to battle each other, and that's just not going to be a good thing. You definitely want to optimize for only one conversion across all of your ads. That's very important. So basically what I'm teaching you here is, when you get to that, like when you first start, you're going to, do the sales, everything. You're going to make your audiences, and you're going to do the interest and everything. But once you get to 5,000 to 10,000 visitors on your website, start trying to make the lookalike audiences from the visitors for your ATC ad or link click ad or wherever mainly all your purchases are coming from. Just try that audience in there. Again, you don't have to optimize your conversion ad based on your custom lookalike audience. Like, you're just using this for data and seeing which ones work. So when you do launch that lookalike audience ad, hopefully it works out for you and you start getting more ATCs and more ATCs. Lookalike audience ad from the website visitors, of course, but then you start getting more ATCs and more ATCs, and then now you have 500 ATCs. Okay, well now it's time. By then you should definitely be optimizing for add to carts. Then it's time to start making lookalike audiences from your add to carts and bringing those into the algorithm and bringing those into your campaign and testing those out. The visitors for add to cart, the add to carts, the add to cart lookalike audience ads for add to carts, all that. So that now you're going to focus on scaling the add to cart ads up until you're getting the 20, 30 purchases a week. And once you're getting the 20, 30 purchases a week, you're going to come into each of your ads that are working, and you're going to change this event to the purchase. And so now you still want to keep recreating, once you get to the purchases, I'd recommend just focusing on the ATC lookalike audience ads and the purchase lookalike audience ads, because that's actually giving you data back of these people are optimal candidates. Try both of those audience, but make sure they're both under the same conversion. So definitely try both of those, and then as you scale, you're going to get the 20, 30 purchases a week, and then you're going to optimize all of your ads now for purchases, and then once you get the 100 purchases total, you're going to start testing and creating the lookalike audiences for the purchases. Guys, that's why I say the lookalike audience purchase part is the end zone, because once you're there, it is so easy. What your day will look like is like you're going to be scaling every 3 to 5 days, you know, doubling the budget till you're around $400, and then you're upping it 100. And then every 2 weeks, all you're doing is going into Facebook. You know, you're just going to come right up here and you're going to go straight to audiences. Say this is like a Monday. You're going to go straight to audiences like, oh, I had a great week. I got 130 purchases this week or whatever. Let's scale this up. And then you're going to come to your ad account, and like I was just showing you before, you're going to come right here and you're just going to create a new custom audience. Very important that you create a new custom audience first. And you're going to go to that website traffic, and now you're getting lots of purchases, so you're going to go purchase. You're going to create that, let it generate, and then you're going to come up here back to purchases, and you're going to create, and make sure it's the new purchases. I just did that to show you, like just to show you, but make sure it's the new purchases. Then you create that lookalike audience. Maybe you want to test 1 and 3%, or 1 and 5%, or maybe just 1%, and then you're going to launch those. But like eventually, when you're getting a lot of purchases, it's gonna be worth your money to test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10%. It's just gonna be worth your money, because you got to think. Okay, say you test these 6, and that's $30 a day, and then you find out only 2 really kind of work, and then you test those 2, and you find out 1 only works, but that 1 ends up working very well, and it pays off like $7,000. Okay, you losing the $100 or whatever from your first $30 a day testing phase. Say you didn't lose 100, but say you lost like 70 because you made some purchases. Okay, you lost 70, but you found one ad set that made you 7,000. So that's a 100x investment rate right there. So that's the whole point of this, of testing a lot, is because you're just looking for the good ad sets. Who cares about the other ones? You're looking for the good ad sets, because they will pay off big. At the end of the day, they'll pay off huge. So that's what I want you to think about, and that's the overall idea of what we're doing here. Just getting to those purchase lookalike audiences, so you can just like keep, like, we have a one product system here. So that means these lookalike audiences are honing in on one product, on one website, with one Facebook ad. Like, don't get too fancy with the Facebook ads. You want one Facebook ad, because then that pixel is going to optimize for exactly this ad, not all these other ads that you're launching. Exactly this ad on exactly this page on exactly this website with exactly this product. That's why it works so well to start with one product, because you are at a certain point, Facebook is just honing in like so hard on one thing that it can become like the most accurate thing you could possibly ask out of Facebook. So that's the end of this. I hope I explained it well. I wish I could show you guys like exactly how to do it in each step, but that could take like a month or 2, and I'm kind of on a timeline for these videos, and I think it's just as good. So if you guys have any questions, be sure to leave it in the Facebook group, because I could see this being a little bit of a confusing video, but I'm definitely always here to help, especially with this aspect, because of how confusing it is. I don't know when or where I'm gonna put this video, but I actually just made it, the Facebook ad scaling strategy on this piece of paper. It's like a timeline of showing you how and when and what and where to launch certain ads. So I'm gonna make that video somewhere in this course as well. I'm not sure if it's gonna be before this video or after or whatnot, but it's just gonna explain Facebook ads in total. And yeah, so thanks for that, guys. Again, if you have any questions, I'm always here to help. We have a great community, and I try to help as much as well. I'm top balancing everything, so just let me know what's going on, and peace out.